Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday, guys. Hello, happy Sunday. um, repeat. How are you guys? I hope you had a wonderful week. Hopefully you can hear me. Oh, you're going to hear me twice because my computer, there we go. Volume was on. So I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I certainly did. Went to Charleston, South Carolina with my hubby. That's why I didn't do a live this past Sunday. Let's see who's on. I've got things kind of moved around here. I need to shift. Hello, Loretta and Kathy, and hello, Tracy Morrow and Virginia and Molly Ann and Melissa and Lois and Virginia. And Donna and Kathy and Linda. So good to see you guys on. And Linda and Robin. Robin, I hope you had a wonderful birthday. Great weekend down in Sarasota and Venice. I saw your bike ride pictures. I think that is just awesome. Hello, Linda Safranco and Carol and Letitia and Sobron. Hello, Deb Bloomfield and Monty and Sharon. So many of you guys on in Beverly. Anyway, hello, Nancy. Oh, Virginia, your daughter was married. I have a hair tickling me, as usual. In Charleston, such an amazing, beautiful city that I definitely want to go back to and explore more. Be a good girls' trip. Just saying. But anyway, no, I had a wonderful time with my husband and really just kind of wanted to unplug and not. I wanted to bring you guys along, but at the same time, I also wanted to unplug and just be present. So in the evening, I would edit my photos and I had everything ready. And then I decided to do something different and upload them to my computer. Well, when I did that, it took it from my computer or my phone to my computer, but it wiped out all the pictures on my phone for my trip. So, which I didn't want. So then I tried to put them back and anyway, it was such a mess. So I have some posted on my Sandy McTeer Designs page and I have some posted on my personal page under an album that's open. Anybody can see it. So, oh my goodness, Kathy, you would love it. It's gorgeous. I have to move my cushion on my chair. Sorry. We just had the best time. Hello, Linda. So many Lindas on today. Hello, Diane. Oh, thank you. Hi, Bonnie. I just saw your picture that you posted in the group, in the membership group for your March challenge. It's stunning, and I'll have to go back and comment on it. Hello, Donna Baker and Janet. Good to see you guys on. Hello, Deb Bloomfield. Okay, so yes, Charleston was amazing, and I took like 800 and something photos. I think I ended up posting 274 or something like that. Winter. Hello. Anyway, I have to tell you guys what's funny about this piece is it's been drawn on for over a year, about a year. And so when I was thinking of like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's spring and the DecoArt new colors are out. And one of the new colors is baby duck, baby. I won't sing it because they'll probably cut me off on YouTube. But anyway, so it's been drawn out and I thought, what a perfect time to paint this with the new colors from DecoArt. So we'll talk about those in a minute. Hi, Madeline. It is, let's see, it's raining right now, but it's in the 70s. We've had crazy weather, as many of y'all have around the world, right? Hello, Tina. I was wondering who Winter was. I just have to tell you guys too, I have this new little, I always wear black. I always look like I'm going to a funeral. Oh, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I was going to wear green and I thought, no, I want to wear this new lounge set that I got. Softies, Softies. Oh my gosh, guys. The most amazing soft loungewear. in the world. So I ordered some right when we got back from Charleston, and I got them yesterday. Hello, Marilyn. Baby duck is my favorite go-to yellow now. It's so pretty, right? And if you add just a little bit of white, you can get almost a little sunny day, but it's just such a pretty color. And I can't wait to share with you guys how I created this duckling. And it's snowing, Deb. Oh my goodness gracious. You guys have had tornadoes and rain and snow and hail, right? In your neck of the woods. So if you're joining me for the first time, let me know in the comments where you're joining from, where you're viewing from. Would love to see the reach that we have. Also, if you like, comment, and share, you'll be entered into the drawings. I have 3 fantastic, amazing giveaways. One is a brand new laser cut surface that I did not grab to share. I should have, but it is an Easter. It's an Easter one with a bunny. It says Happy Easter. There's no packet or anything for it, but it's the surface. Super cute. I also have a stencil set and a brush set, Dynasty brush set. So wonderful, wonderful supporters of mine and companies that I work with. And so I will draw 3 names. Well, I won't draw them. The wheel will. And we won't do them today. I will do it on my next live. Okay? So, hello, Judy. Yes, and if you're joining for the first time and you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, would love for you to do that as well. All those little shares and everything really do help us out to get, I don't know, to the next level, to be able to do things on our YouTube channel. And, hopefully breaks up that algorithm. So sprinkled, thank you. Yes, like, comment, share. Oh, thank you, Marlene. I love him. He's just sweet. Every little step of the way, he just made me smile. So, having a snowman damaged by a tornado is nothing new here. Oh my gosh. Hello, Carol. Hello, Ann. And if I missed your name, hi, Ann Davis. And Jane. Yeah, let me know where you're viewing from. Who did I see up? Hello, Wendy Young. Let me just tell you, girlfriend, I love everything that you do. You are an inspiration for all that you are going through with your family, but then to be able to create like you do. And I still have my Hello Kitty gourd sitting in my studio that you sent me. Love it, love it, love it. Hello, Karen from Meaford, Ontario. We have a bit of everything weather-wise today, right? Some of those areas you get the rain in the morning, maybe a little sunshine, then it's storming, then you have hail, then you have tornadoes. Yeah, it's crazy. Then you have snow. Global warming. Hello. Anyway, all right, it's 4:08. I'm going to give a couple of minutes and then we're going to get started. Hello, Deb. Hi, Sandy from the West Coast. So the thing with the stars on Facebook, if you donate stars on Facebook, those go to my charity. My charity this year is what it was last year, and that is World Central Kitchen, feeding people around the world. And I just think it's such a worthy cause and organization. And so anything that you donate on stars or over on YouTube with that little $sign is going to go to them. And again, I greatly appreciate you guys contributing to that and being a part of that and just kind of, sharing it and paying it forward. So who did I see? Hello, Donna Polson, Sandy. Good to see you guys on. You got your expo book, Deb? Oh my goodness, awesome. So if you're not familiar, the annual painting expo, the very first one, is going to be held in Chattanooga this June. I have 4 classes, one a special event with Tracy Morrow that is going to be out of this world amazing. Lots of fun giveaways that you guys are going to get and goodies in that class, but a lot of our tips and tricks and techniques. And so here is the website if you want to go check that out. Anyway, and then another convention that's coming up in August is OKC Painting Palooza. I also have 4 classes there. At both conventions, I do have a booth, well, many booths. and we'll have a ton of supplies for all of your painting needs. Okay, so let's come back up here. You saw snow this morning in Buffalo, New York. Oh my goodness, Heather, crazy. Hello, Brenda. Oh my goodness, thank you too for all the recommendations. I know Brenda and many of y'all that shared your recommendations for where to go to in South Carolina. Let me just tell you, we did not have a meal that disappointed. Everywhere I ate, I loved, maybe a little too much, but it was delish. I'm signed up for the mixed media class. Oh, awesome. We're going to have so much fun. So we have a real treat for you guys in all the classes, but especially that one that her and I are teaching together. So anyway, all right, it is 4:10. Let's get started. I wanted to first on YouTube and the first on Facebook, the very first people that commented. So when you log on, guys, make sure you comment right away and just let me know that you're here because you get a free e-packet. So on Facebook, Loretta Lynn, and over on YouTube, Monty Dersham. If you guys will message me your e-packet choice, I will get that sent off to you sometime after the live today. So, oh, thank you, Robin Richard. You're so sweet to put that link. So over on Facebook, Robin Richard put that link as well. But you saw it come across the screen there. So you can go look at the classes, and then you can also, like I said, log on and go look at the classes at OKC Painting Palooza. Oh, I don't have it here. It's over there. I've been prepping and trying to prep early this year. Thanks to my dear sweet friend and second mama, Barb Perkle, who's helping me as well. Because many of my classes are sold out or have huge numbers. And so I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of the game this year. Unlike most, I'm usually chomping at the bit to finish. Anyway, oh, Donna Baker, I'm so glad that you're going to be there. Hello, Pam. Okay, guys, so like I mentioned, this piece has been drawn out for a year. It is, I would say, a companion piece, but when I did this and the description is the link is in the description. I did this one, this Hoppy Easter, and I had drawn out a duck, a little duckling, and I also have a little lammy. So the lammy will be next. I just don't know if it'll be before Easter. But anyway, so I love the background. I put the link. Sue Potts, you're just so sweet. Thank you so very much for that donation. You're too kind. You do it often, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you, thank you. Okay, so the Hoppy Easter one I did, oh my gosh, last year around this time, and then this one today, and I will get around to Lammy. Hopefully it won't take another year. But I did put in the description as well, guys. If you go to the description in Facebook and on YouTube, it'll show you the links, because I also did a plaid background with the same stencil on my squirrel that I did last year, okay? So I'm not gonna show you the background. I'm gonna talk to you about it, but I'm not gonna go through the whole thing because we'll be here till 6 o'clock at night. And I have dinner plans with my hubbies, so. Hello, Yvonne down under. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Sandy. Okay, let's move these out of the way. Oh, you're so welcome, Loretta. Thank you. Thank you for your constant support always. I will show you as well, because, you know, I'd love to share with you guys what I do in and with my membership group. So these are all of my lessons that I've done with them last year and this year. And I did this one last week. I think, the week before. On my YouTube channel. So if you missed that, you can go follow that. But basically it was a take on a lesson I had done with my group, and it was about bubbles. That was one of our prompt words for this month, was bubbles. So I did that, and then I thought how cool and fun it would be to do those neurographic lines. So you can check that lesson on my YouTube channel. And then last week, one of our prompts this month was squares. So I did these really fun, loosely painted tulips, trio tulips with that background. So again, all these lessons are recorded. They're all on my membership group that my members have full access to, as long as they belong. So, oh, thank you, Loretta. 6 o'clock works for me. No problem. Oh, goodness. Okay. So let's get here. I'm going to show you how I prepped this piece. Move a couple things out of the way. But it is on this 8-inch breadboard. Again, in the description, guys, it has where I got it. I do have some on my website right now, but I have to tell you, it is on sale at cdwood.com. You might want to go grab some. And so anyway, you can just put an 8-inch breadboard and it comes up. But again, if you're ordering anything else from me and you want to save on shipping, make sure to use that discount code on my website, which is ART, all capitals. Okay. So the other thing I used was the Shifter Mint Tim Holtz stencil to get that plaid. And it doesn't matter where you start. I have fuzz or something falling off my shirt. But anyway, the Shifter Mint stencil, and you can move it different directions, do different colors. You saw the difference in the plaids that I did on those other two designs. You can mix up the colors. Just a great stencil for making a plaid background or even just a striped background. Hello, Karen from Arkansas. Oh, thank you, Donna. I'm so glad that your granddaughter loved it. And yes, bring those granddaughters and grandsons up, loving art, playing and creating, right? We have got to get that next generation creating and crafting. Hello, Linda O'Connell. I've seen many of your wonderful videos. If you guys have not seen them, you'll have to go over to Linda Paints page on Facebook and see all the cool things she's doing, like 30 days of lives that have been amazing. And then also, if you missed it yesterday on Tracy Morrow's live, she did a bunny, absolutely adorable, with all the new deco art colors. So again, when I did my piece, which is where's my original? When I did this, I thought, hello, how appropriate, and with the spring colors and the new line of deco art colors that came out. So I'm going to share those with you right now real quick. Let's just go through them. If you've not seen them or gotten them, I did put in the description that you can go to Deco Art, and there is a Deco Art one-time 20% off code. So if you've not gotten the new colors and you want to get them and you want 20% off, go over to decoart.com and use that discount code. If you've already used mine, just change the first two letters to TM, and that's Tracy's code, and that will give you a 20% discount as well. The other place you can find them is at CD Wood, and also at Pinecraft. Now, another thing is, if you guys are looking for the Deco Earth colors, they have a bundle, 2-ounce bottles of all the Deco Earth paints. Highly recommend, if you're looking into getting them, that you go there, because the price point they have them at is amazing. So I bought them with the discount. Awesome, Donna. Great to hear that. I mean, I do, just in, all honesty and transparency, I do get a little kickback from that. It's not a lot, but at the same time, if it can help save you guys some money, awesome. Okay, so what I did, and like I mentioned, the plaid background is on my YouTube channel. I did the bunny, I did the squirrel. And so in the e-packet, it gives you step-by-step pictures. And thank you guys so much. I got the e-packet loaded late today, and so many of you already ordered. But anyway, it gives you a breakdown of the colors I used. I'm very wordy, if you couldn't tell. Oh, thank you, Sue. Yes, Stockade in Ontario now has the paints, including Deco Earth. That is amazing. Hello, Cindy. Um, yes, have a glass of wine, Deb. Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day, right? Anyway, so it just gives you step-by-step pictures of everything, um, and the pattern and stuff. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And let's get to showing you how I did the background, trying to get this packet out of the way there. Okay, so on the back, what I went ahead and did was I went ahead and did the same background on the back. And let me just tell you, it's on the back because do you see how those are angled? I did not get it straight. So when you're lining up your stencil, it does go great if you line it up along the edge or along the edge that way. All right. But what I wanted to share with you, using the stencil can be a little tricky because you can see it's pretty flimsy, right? But again, I love all Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stencils. Well, all things Tim Holtz. Okay, so New Leaf is one of the new colors. Absolutely gorgeous, yellowy green, so pretty. And let's just go through the colors real quick. Again, Baby Duck, which led to this whole painting of my duck because it's been there for a year. Twilight, this color has a punch of pigment. It's absolutely gorgeous. It can go very blue and it can go very purple. So the lines you see here are very purplish, but when you pair it with something, it might go a little bit more blue. Love that. This is one of my favorites. So if you're not familiar, I think I told you guys on my last live that Tracy Morrow and I, along with the product development team, came up with these colors, and it was nice that her and I were back working with the team, getting these colors that are trendy and new, and just, in my opinion, some of the best colors they've come out with in a long time. So Cherry Merlot, and then Tea Berry, and salted caramel, which almost could be like salted butterscotch, I think, would probably be a better name. Let me just move these out of the way. And then the two I did not use on this project were Stormy and Mystic Teal. Gorgeous, kind of tealy green color. But I did not use those two. I used 6 of the 8 new colors. All right. They are beautiful, aren't they? Okay. So let me just show you real quick when you are stenciling and using this stencil. Again, I do have this on my website. I'm going to line it up with those two and just give you an idea of how I try to be really careful to not go outside the lines. But if you do, you can always come back to your base coat. And that was with Gray Sky. I did the lines I did with titanium white, and basically what I did is I did them this way, and then I turned the stencil and I did them this way. That way my colors showed up more instead of being on that gray. I didn't want to dull the color. So going with that white or warm white base underneath is always going to make your colors shine, okay? So 3/8 stencil brush, dry paper towel. Hello, Mickey. Good to see you on. I cannot wait for Chattanooga either. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so I'm going to pull that down, load that into the brush, wipe almost all of it off. And I stencil differently with this stencil because normally I do soft circular motions, counterclockwise, clockwise. This one, let's make sure I'm on there. I actually just go down the line. Now, if you're worried that you're going to get into the other lines, you can use, Chris Hoy has these awesome stencils that you can line up to keep that from getting paint, or you can use sticky pads, sticky notes. I like the vellum ones, just so that you don't get paint outside those lines. But basically what I'm doing is lightly brushing it over those lines. You can tape it in place, but I have to say I'm usually pretty lazy and I don't. And then we will come back up here. That's probably dry. So basically you're going to lay those green lines right over the white that you did before. All right, so that's going to give you that background. Now, I don't care if you can see a little bit of the, like the white on the side of that line. I don't mind that at all. But basically, when I got done stenciling all the green and everything, I did come back with a little sanding block, and these are nail buffers. Great, you can get those on Amazon. And I just did a little bit of sanding both ways. So again, before I paint on MDF, I usually seal it. I sealed it with DecoArt multi-purpose sealer. But anyway, what I liked about that was, see how it just kind of softened the look? So it's going to soften the look so that it's not so perfect. I didn't want that to draw your eye. I wanted him to draw your eye. So it's just a softer, more muted version when you come in and sand it down a little bit, okay? All right, so then I transferred the pattern, and you can see the lines through him. So when I transferred on my line drawing, I transferred all those little jagged zigzag lines because I want to be able to see where the shadows are. However, I'm going to layer and load, you know, this bird up with a lot of layers. So you will take care of any lines or anything and make it more opaque, okay? Like this one. Can't see any lines through this guy, right? But I do like to start that way to give myself, let me zoom in just a little bit more. To give myself, hi Leslie, so glad that you're here. Just some guidelines, you know, some like, they'll probably go away and come back many times, but I want to be able to see where it is that I need some shadows, and it just helps me keep my pattern. Now, this is a mixture of salted caramel and warm white or titanium white. It really doesn't matter. But you can see it's a very thin layer, right? And again, all these instructions are in the e-packet on my website. So once I've done that, I'm going to come back in with my, let's get a 3/8 angle. Thank you, Molly Ann, for sharing that. Appreciate it. The link for the stencil. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the salted caramel, and I just want to, almost like you're sketching, okay? I just kind of want to sketch in some lines. And again, they do not have to be exact or where, you know, every line. And I guess I mean by that, don't go, okay, I've got to get that and that. Just sketch it on. Again, they're going to be put on and taken off and put back on many times. But I just want to get a little bit of shading in on him, especially where his wings and meets the body, where his neck meets the body. A little bit of water in your brush, or you can use some fast drying glaze medium, whichever you prefer. I just picked up a little bit of water. Here's another trick. Let's get a big brush. Lana Lamb trick. Pick up some water and just stick a couple drops on your palette. That way, if you need more water, you take the heel, pick up just a little bit, and you can replenish that brush. You want this very loose, very, very loose float. Again, it's just giving me some guidelines of where my shading is going to be. I'll do a little bit under his feet. I base coated his beak and his feet. Now, I'm not big on feet, whether it's bird feet or human feet. But I have to tell you, I was quite impressed with his little webbed feet when I got done. So I didn't cover him up with a leaf or anything like I normally do. All right, so we've got that salted caramel. See how pretty that is? Just kind of sketch that in. I know I have a little bit more around his beak and there. Okay, so let's rinse that out. Thank you, Molly Ann. Hi, Connie. Do you have any idea when the new colors will be released to Hobby Lobby and Michael's? I do not know, Bonnie. I do not know. I will have to find out for you and let you know later. But right now, not so sure. Usually, because it all depends on their resets. I know that Hobby Lobby does a reset in July or June. Get a sip of water, but I'm not exactly sure. Okay, I base coated his eye with just black, just lamp black. All right, so once you kind of get those little shading or whatever in, I'm going to come back in with some baby duck. How many times are you going to sing that? His feet are just ducky perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Yvonne. You know the shark song that I'm not going to sing because, again, I don't want my video taken down for a copyright. But let me just tell you, the whole time I was painting him, I was singing that song. So, alrighty. I'm going to get my, you can use a 3/8 or a 1/4 inch. So it's got water in it. I'm going to pick up some of that baby duck. I put it on the toe, but it doesn't matter if it goes along the whole thing. Okay. Now, when painting animals, you want to follow the direction of feathers and the way they lay. So I love red spice too, Bonnie. Yes. Hello, Lucy Matt. So good to see you on. Thank you, Kathy. Okay. So from the beak, all the feathers are going to go that way, right? And then they start to kind of go down. Here, they're going to go out and down. Again, that growth pattern and how you paint them on, like I wouldn't want to come here and start doing lines like this because it's just going to look off. Now, I want to keep my palette in, but I also want you to be able to see this closer. So, see if I can move that over. Excuse me, still have seasonal allergies, and I'm going to clear my throat, and I apologize. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just come in and very loosely, again, sketch some baby duck. And I think I am going to switch to a 1/4 inch. That's a 3/8. I just like, you know how sometimes when you use a bigger brush, your stroke gets a little too big? I like the control I have with that 1/4 inch. So I'm going to just pull and give, and you can also see the line drawing. I purposely didn't go all the way out to there because when I pull these little feathers in, you know how things tend to grow when you go right to the edge to begin with? I just did not want him to have a big head. So, okay, so we're just going to, and just like I've done for my polar bear, that I did with the bunny, that I did with the penguin, I'm just sliding. And if you've missed those lessons, they're all on my YouTube channel. But I'm just pulling on the chisel edge of the brush. And so you're able to start seeing some of those shadows that are still there. Again, most of them probably will be taken away and we'll put them back in. And you can always lay your pattern back down, transfer those little zigzag lines on if you want them exactly in the same place, or just wing it. Okay, so this is the first layer. This is baby duck, but look at the difference already. I'm not familiar with that song you're mentioning. So Loretta, it is a children's song about a shark that is a baby. You'll have to Google it. It is very catchy and very, you can't get it out of your head. And so go look at that because when you're painting this, you'll be singing the same song, but with baby duckling instead. Okay, so see how I'm just kind of pulling on the chisel edge. I'm sliding like that. So sometimes they're a little bit longer and overlapping them. The more random and quick you are, the better it's going to look than if you just go 1, 2, that's going to take you forever. Just kind of slide it on. Again, if it gets on the entire brush, that is okay. I just like to load it on the toe so that I can control how much paint I'm putting on. And so see how I'm not covering up all the shadows, but I am overlapping. And it's just a playing game. It's a playing game between those lights and darks. Do want to make sure we get all the outline, pattern line drawing covered, but again, just a little bit of water to get that moving. Very funny. Yes, again, I watched a video that Chris Hoy did that was amazing with all the new colors. Debbie Cotton has an awesome lesson. Go to her Facebook page. She's doing a Zoom class of a gorgeous, kind of like a lake picture with a dock and an Adirondack chair using the new colors. So again, see how I'm just kind of sliding those on, very feather-like. I am going to turn it so I can keep my hand out of the way. What about the song? Baby Beluga. Yes, that one too, Karen. Let's say that's kind of dating us, huh? But hello, my oldest turned 30 on Thursday, and talk about feeling old. Okay, so I'm just picking up more baby duck, sliding it, again, trying to keep with this, the way that those feathers are gonna lay. And we're gonna come back and do the same thing with a little bit of white, just to, again, make things more opaque so that you take care of those lines. Now, this is another thing. You could come in and base coat the whole thing with warm white, lay your pattern back down, put all your lines on, and you don't have to worry about the background. But because I paint in layers, this is just easier for me, okay? Don't sing it, please, don't sing it. Yes, Kathy, the web e-packet is on my website. Thank you. Someone asked me what the name of the video was for the background for these pieces. So in the description on YouTube and then also over on Facebook, if you go to the little description on the bottom, it'll tell you the links for those. The one that is very similar is the one that I did for Hoppy Easter. Okay. Now, when I got done with this one, I realized I didn't do any splatter. I might add a little splatter to him. Okay. Just might have to. So thank you for that, Linda. Okay. So now I'm going to pick up a little bit of baby duck on the toe, work it in, pick up a little titanium white. Okay. And I'm going to start back here and just pull tiny little strokes. Tiny little strokes, working it towards his beak. And that's why I haven't taken care of his beak or his feet or anything, because we're going to get into those. And then I'm just turning the brush so I can get a little bit of that feather action going the opposite way. Again, I'm not using pressure either. I'm not pushing. It's like you're ice skating. Okay, it's like you're ice skating on the tippy tips of those bristles. And then you can come back with the zero rigger, or you can come back with, I'm going to use a round brush soon, and do these tiny little wispy strokes right along the edge. That's going to give them that fluffy little look. Okay. You want some strokes that are longer, some that are shorter, some that are a bit brighter and whiter. But again, baby duck and a little bit of white. And as you guys know, every single time you paint a piece, there are going to be some variations and some, some changes, because this technique isn't base coat, highlight, shade. I'm not going to have these same little strokes in every place that I do on my original, but we're going to get pretty close to it. Okay. Again, just tiny little strokes. And if you get too much white, you can come back in with that baby duck. just on its own. All right. Oh, Karen, you look so young for a to have a 50-year-old. Okay, so now I'm going to start over here and just work my way. You can start at the bottom and work your way up, whatever you're more comfortable with. But again, just trying to keep those shadows kind of in place so that you know where you need to put them back in. All right. But again, that's where the pattern can come in handy. You can lay it back down. Don't like it or you need to soften it, just touch it with your finger. And Deb, yes, I think Lucy is over on Facebook. I think along with the with Tracy Morrow's like almost like a stuffed animal bunny that she did, she needs to do a baby duck. Stuffed animal looking. Too cute. Okay, so we're just going to keep layering, and you see how I'm moving it back and forth so that I don't get a pattern. I don't want it to be like a line, a row. I just want to keep moving it, layering these back and forth. And I came up with some great mixtures that I will share with you for shading, and they worked really, really well and a little unexpected. So, all right, let's move him this way and start getting his feathers down his little wing on this side. And again, I almost said sunny day. Baby duck and a little bit of white. Okay, so he's going to look like a big blob of feathers until we come back and put some of those shadows back in, and then also put in just some white feathers. It's really going to brighten him up, give him a little more shape. Hi, Gloria. Yes, I love painting in layers. Like you said, I just think it gives it great depth, and you get something different every time, especially doing a technique like this. But I've seen so many of like the penguin and the squirrel and even the bunny that I did last year that you guys have painted and shared, and just amazed at what an awesome job y'all have done on those designs. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for just a minute and get a round brush. And then I've got, what is this one? That's a 4. You can use a 4 or a 3. Pick up a little bit more so my brush is wet. And I'm just going to base coat. And so I'm just going to go right over that black and everything. Right over the beak. And again, a little inky, get that water in there. Just again, to start building up that color, make it a little bit more opaque. And come right down his feet. And like I said, I typically will cover those with a leaf or with the ground, or make his feet go off the bottom because I'm just not big on bird feet. All right. Aw, thank you, Sandra. You could use a rake brush. Yes, Lois. It's not a brush I use often, but you definitely can. Oh my goodness, Bonnie, I had no clue. You look so young. Our kids are 57 and 58 with a grandchild 34. Hello. I have to get back to my painting, having knee replacement. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, you do, Julie. That's the best medicine. Okay, so I'm going to come back in with my 1/4 inch angle, and I'm going to pick up, funny enough, a little bit of Cherry Merlot. Okay, now before I get into doing the feet and stuff, I'm also gonna, so I have the green out, that, okay. And we'll do our little ground here, which is just a little dusting of what looks like brown, right? Hi, Lori. So we know that green and red make brown. This Cherry Merlot is a heavy red content. So we're going to pick up some of that. And I'm just using a medium mezzaluna, a little bit of green. Pick up a little bit more of that, a little bit more of that. And then a little bit of salted caramel. And you get a color that's, you can make it almost like an asphaltum. I have to think you probably could. Okay, and then I'm going to wipe some of that off on my paper towel, but look how that made that brown color. And I just want to shimmy it, little zigzags. I might have wiped off too much. Underneath the feet, maybe a little behind. Yep, I wiped off too much. Just kind of zigzag back and forth. So again, a little salted caramel, a little bit of the new leaf, a little bit of Cherry Merlot, about equal parts. Let's get a little zigzag dusting of brown. Again, you could always use some asphaltum, but you know, if you're using the new colors, just mix them up, see what you get. I'm just going to use my finger and kind of smush that out. Alrighty, now with the let me think. Oh, with the feathers, to darken the shading on those, you can use that same color or just a little bit of, let's see if my palette's in the shot here, a little bit of salted caramel and a little bit of that Cherry Merlot. Look how pretty that color is. It's almost like deep ochre that came out not too long ago. So I can kind of start almost like I'm sketching it in, but use your finger to shimmy it around. I can still see where I basically have a lot of those shadows, but I can also improvise and, you know, just kind of put them in here and there. Again, if you've got the packet and the line drawing, you can always put your pattern back down. And then we'll definitely darken that up. And then also on this side, where his wing meets his body, salted caramel, a little bit of Cherry Merlot, which reminds me of like a burnt carmine color, which I loved, always loved that color. And again, the toe is what I'm sketching with. So almost like if I had a pen, okay? It's a little on the red side. Let's pick up a little bit more of the salted caramel. And so again, I'm just going to put a couple little slivers here and there. Up underneath where his body meets his legs, we'll put a little bit there. And maybe a little bit here. I do want to put some like from his beak to his eye. I haven't reloaded, just kind of shimmying and scooching that color around with the toe of that brush. If you need a little bit of moisture, add just a tiny touch to the heel or to the toe. Because when we come back with that white, oh, he's just going to pop. And it's going to help cover up any of the lines that you might still be able to see. Okay, so I am going to come with that same color combo, salted caramel, Cherry Merlot. Thank you, Deb Antonick. So good to see you on. Thank you, thank you. Hello, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, he just makes me smile. So I'm going to float this color right where his beak meets his head. Okay, so just a little behind there. And I might even just intensify that a little bit more. And then just a few little strokes. So again, it's just that playing back and forth between lights and darks and trying not to get real fussy about where things go. Just kind of sketch it in and let it happen. All right. I'm going to take, I'm going to let that sit for a second, come back in with my Mezzaluna. And when I switch colors between my Mezzaluna, I will use hand sanitizer. Okay, so I do want to get a little bit of white, and since I used brown, you can always get another brush. But just to kind of show you, you can come in, hand sanitizer is going to evaporate quicker than water, so I can come in and change colors on my Mezzaluna and be ready to move on. And then just clean that up. Okay. I am already on Grandma Duck. Too cute. Oh, wow, Bonnie, that's awesome. Well, my middle is getting married this October, and let me just say, my husband and I, when we were in Charleston, we're just talking about we can't wait to be grandparents. Okay, so with that Mezzaluna, again, it's dry. If I got it wet in the water, it would just take a little bit longer to dry. So white, load it up, wipe almost all of it off. And we're going to start making his feet and his beak a little more opaque. So I'm just going to do almost like a little C. Right there, kind of in the center, not all the way to the edge, but a little to the center and down. Okay. And then on his feet, same thing, gonna come on the chisel edge, which is nice about these. So it's a blend of like a hard and a soft bristle. And you could always switch to a small Mezzaluna if you wanted to. They have them in 4 sizes. I sell them in a set on my website. One of my favorite brushes to use. It adds amazing texture. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe that off. And again, because I layer and I build colors, I'm going to come back, do a little bit more dry brushing. Don't worry if you get it too bright, because guess what? We're going to do a wash of a couple colors here and there to bring it all together. So straight down the center and a little on the sides. And then we'll come in and make those webs stand out a little bit more. Thank you, Karen. What color? His feet are started out with salted caramel, straight salted caramel. Alrighty. Now, let's come in with our 3/8 angle. I do want to get a little bit of moisture in my brush. If you run, let me show you, if you run your angle brush up through your index finger and your middle finger, if you get that much water and it runs down you have way too much water. All right, so you always want to kind of load it up, tap it off on your paper towel. Let's get some white. So this is titanium white, and I don't care if it goes across the whole brush, but I am going to load it just on the toe and work it in on the toe so that I can keep a little more control of where this goes. Okay, so I'm going to start pulling some tiny little strokes. Again, kind of in that growth direction and pattern of his feathers. Pick up a little bit more. A little bit more white. And again, you see how I just touch it with my finger. If I want to soften the look or want to soften that color, you can use a mop brush, but hello. You've got 10 great blenders attached to your body, so use them. Okay. Now, this is where I'm going to start doing a little bit of sketching. So thank you, Molly Ann. I appreciate that. She shared the link. So see the little almost like zigzag motion? Think of it like you're sketching with the tip of that brush. So I'm just going to, I kind of want to keep that close so I can remember what I did. Just kind of sketch up, down, kind of over that line, come back up. And anytime I feel like, oh, I got too much, I just backtrack on my color. So it might come in with just a little bit of baby duck or a little baby duck in white. Okay, but just to sketch that on. And again, we don't want to make a pattern. We want to just put it here and there, but don't do, you know, V's across the whole thing. Just make some of that stand out a little bit more than somewhere else. Like that. And I am going to go right onto the little area here. I know I'm going to have some shading, but again, I want to make it look like his feathers connect with his legs. Overlap a little bit there. And we're going to dry brush too. And dry brushing will kind of break up some of that look. Okay, but just that zigzag, soften it with your finger. Okay, so see how just kind of building up his layers. Oh, he's looking so cute. Hello, Carol. Oh, thank you, Peg. Thank you, Lucy. He was fun to paint. He was fun to design, and I really was just kind of chomping at the bit to get him written so that I could get an e-packet on my website. And my husband was away this morning running an errand up at the McTier farm, and he edits my packets. So I had to wait for him to come back and get it edited. Okay, so I'm going to start putting a little bit brighter white on his head. And you can work from his beak back, or you can work from the back of his head towards his beak. But again, very random so that you don't end up with a pattern or defined lines. Just layered. You still got that dark, which that shading's gonna get beefed up a little bit more. All right. So let me rinse that out. Okay, I'm going to come back to that round brush. And I'm going to get out some tea berry. Easter gift, someone could pick a couple of, check it out. Oh, thank you, Nancy, for putting that in there. It's great information. All right, so some tea berry over on Facebook. Great color. In the bottle, like here on camera, to me, it looks like tiger lily. It's nothing like tiger lily. It's just a really pretty pinky. Oh, thank you, Donna. I think he's adorable. Okay, so I am going to get my round brush wet, pick up some salted caramel. Very inky. See there on my palette? And I'm going to do a couple washes. So on his beak and on his feet. So that's like if you do that dry brushing and you get it too white, don't worry about it. Okay, just let's get those right on camera, Sandy. Okay, and then I'm going to dry that. Let me get my heat tool. And I probably will use a small mezzaluna, or if you don't have a mezzaluna brush, you can always use your round brush dry, and we'll just load it up with some white, and then I'm going to wipe most of it off. That'll give you a little bit more control to kind of get those lines on. Again, and I'm loading it up and wiping it off so I can dry brush them on. I'll just say you can't go too white on them, because when we put the next color on, it's really going to help bring out that kind of that realistic, more color to his beak and his feet. So again, a little dry brushing on the beak there. All right, thank you guys. Okay, so I rinsed that. I have salted caramel and cherry merlot coming. Awesome. Oh, Peg, I will have to say that is probably the number one thing that I have to try and break myself of, and that is overthinking. Um, if you give yourself a pep talk and just say, okay, Peg, get over it, just brush it on. I do that all the time to myself. Sandy, just get over it, just do it, it'll look fine. Um, if not, you just backtrack and, go back to the previous color. Okay, so I do want to get that round brush wet, and I'm going to pick up some tea berry and a tiny touch of salted caramel. And I'm going to brush that on his feet. How cute. See how it's making it a little more opaque? So that's tea berry, a little bit of salted caramel. All righty. Hello, Faye. Oh, Tara, no problem. Hope you had a great nap. I'm not much of a napper. Sorry. Choking on my water. Okay. I took a sip of water and choked on it. Oh, goodness. I pulled a Steven. I pulled my husband. Oh, every time he drinks water, he chokes. Excuse me. Okay, back to the round brush. A little bit of white. Work it in. Bring it to your paper towel and get a little bit off. Oh, so sorry. And then I want to come in. Now, one thing about putting little hairs. Hold on. Okay, sorry. No, it's no fun. Try not to talk. Right? Is bones in your water. Oh, goodness gracious. I have it in a cup and a straw, so it's easier for me to drink while I'm talking, but hello. Anyway, so when you're along the edge, if you start here, sometimes where you start your brush, it's a little bit thicker. So if you want a little bit more of a wispy, kind of start here and just pull it out. Just like that. Again, we want to take care of all those little lines. And like I said, you can always pick up a little more baby duck if you want to put it in with that white. Come back with just some white. And that variation in color is what's going to just make them look so cute. Especially around that edge. I'm going to pick up a little baby duck because I don't want it to all be white. And if I can give you any advice if you paint this, it is, again, don't overthink and just layer, working back and forth between those darks, those lights, the little highlights. Okay, now I do want, see how that very straight line, when you have that, you want to just kind of break it up so you can still see that shading where his wing meets his body, but it's not a defined line because there's going to be little tiny feathers that go over it, right? And this one is going to, with me to New Orleans, excuse me, to give to one of my friends, to give to her daughter who loves ducks. Okay, so we'll put a little bit more white with the angle brush. just some brighter spots. Again, try not to get any kind of a pattern. That angle brush, if I want to, I can bring up a little bit of the dry brush on some of those lines, because again, that's going to get a wash. This is just building up all the colors so that it's opaque. Little dry brush on the beak there. I am going to load, I wiped off my brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that salted caramel. Put that on the beak. A little on the legs. Okay. Yes, I cannot wait, Lucy. I know that is your turf, but I'm excited to go back to, yes, malfunctions. That was my water. Aw, thank you. This is Plum Darling. Thank you. I'm excited about going to NAMTA. Again, it is where all the big companies come together with their art and their new or products for the year. Stores walk around, bloggers, influencers. I'm teaching a course, a workshop for deco art, which is going to be awesome. I'll share tons of pictures with you guys. Okay, so I do want to get a little bit of shading. So that was Merlot, cherry Merlot, and a little bit of salted caramel. Again, I'm just going to come back in and get my darkest darks in. And I could just sit here and play all day, you know, back and forth. But I'm going to try not to keep you till 10 o'clock. Come back to my Mezzaluna, get some white, load it up, swipe it off. And this is where I kind of came in and did a little dry brushing. And I'm just kind of shimmying it around. So it's going to pick up some of that white here and there, but break up a lot of those lines or what looks like, you know, a pattern, if there was any that was gotten. Okay. Back to the salted caramel, little cherry Merlot. And right up underneath here, I'm going to do a little shading. Salted caramel and white. And I just wipe my brush off. I very rarely wash it out unless I just need to completely change the color, just to get some of that brighter color there. Okay, this is still just a very defined line. There we go. Okay, black. Let's get out a little bit of black, so just lamp black. Thank you, Julie. Yes, last year when I went, I had my phone stolen. Or the year before. Anyway, yeah, I had my phone stolen out of my purse. So not fun, traveling with no phone. Okay, so I did his eye again. I just loaded the toe with a little bit of black. I'm going to work it in and get this little dash that's in his beak there. And then I did just a little bit of almost like a little shimmy. A little dry brushing with the toe of that brush. And then again, right along that edge of his beak. Let's rinse that out. I'm going to come back. Bye, Yvonne. Thank you so much for being here. I know, it was horrible. I mean, I reached in to grab my phone and mine was gone and my friend's whose I was holding was there. And yeah, what are you going to do? Okay, so around the eye, you can use a rigger, a zero rigger, or a liner. And I just loosely outlined it with white. And then on the right side of that, a little bit of white. We'll do a little highlight. And I see I need to strengthen that shading just a little bit more. A little highlight down his beak, just further it along with your finger. And then right above that black line, tiny little white line. And again, just kind of soften that out. And then right on his eye, you like to do that and kind of touch it. All right, so I am going to come back with my 1/4 inch angle. Yes, and at this show that I'll be at, unlike when I was there recently, it is pretty much you're with the company, you're with like events and things. So I won't be out, sightseeing. But again, just be aware of your surroundings, right? So thank you guys. A little bit of black. Okay, I am going to pick up a little bit of the salted caramel on that, just on that round brush. I kind of took away a little bit too much of the shading here and there, so I'm going to put some of that back in from his beak. Ooh, I got my finger in the black, Sandy. And you'll see that too in the e-packet. I did the eye, and then I started pulling strokes here, and I had black in it. I'm like, really? Where did that come from? So just a few little feathers there. Okay. And he is looking a little bit fluffier on my original, so I am going to come back with some of the baby duck, a little bit of white, and let's just fluff him up right in here. Fluff him up a little bit more. And touch it with your finger. Okay, and then again, a little dry brush down his legs. Load it up with white. I'm going to do a swipe and leave it. Okay. One more thing I want to do, and then we're going to move on to the word. So a little salted caramel, tiny touch of Merlot. Where was I? There I was. So little salted caramel, little touch of cherry Merlot. Oh, thank you, Lucy. No, kind of just a self-taught artist. I had a kiln with like 700 ceramic molds. I did a bunch of ceramics when I lived overseas, painted flower pots. And yeah, just, I don't know, kind of play with everything. A little more salted caramel. There. And like I mentioned, you could sit here all day and play with those shadows and those highlights. Okay, and then I remember I needed a little bit darker at the beak. So salted caramel, a little bit of cherry Merlot. It just deepens that color nicely. And I'm going to put a little bit right along his beak, under his beak. There we go. Same thing, salted caramel, cherry Merlot. Really darken that. And I'm going to come right up underneath here. And then right in the web. So in that little section right here, almost like a little triangle. Now remember, we used both those colors in that dirt. So if you go into it, it's almost like it just isn't there. It just kind of disappears. I agree, Kay Reynolds, but let me just tell you, that saved me many days as a young mom, having 3 kids under the age of 3. And I always said, my kids are not going to watch the big purple dinosaur, but hello. When you got to get some things done, it was a nice, a nice video or show to put on. Okay, a little zigzag. Okay, I'm going to rinse that brush out. Load up just a touch of that tea berry because I like the pinkiness of it. And do a little bit of a wash again on his beak, on his feet. And then you can use the round brush, you can use a flat brush. I like to use like a number 2 or a number 4. And Payne's Gray, my go-to shadow shading color. Absolutely love it. If you don't have any of the media line, highly recommend that you get this color. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is, I have enough for all of us, is my brush is wet. As you can see there, pick up a little touch of Payne's Gray. I'm going to work that in. Always best to test it somewhere, either on your hand or a piece of paper. That's way too dark, so a little more water comes somewhere different. And if I need to pull some of that pigment, I'll pull that over. But I want to come up underneath his beak with a little shadow. Try not to go over it more than twice. Sometimes I just leave it and then I'll come back and do it when it's dry. A little bit there. Let me, a little under his wing, and you can even bring that onto his wing where a little bit of that shading is. Oops. A little underneath his body. It's a little too much. I'm just going to soften it and then move on underneath his little belly here. And then not all the way around, but up underneath here. Maybe a little on his feet to the side. And then let's come back in where I wipe that off and go down the left side for his feet. Okay, so basically what that's going to do is just lift it off the surface a little bit. And I went on the left side of each of his feet, down here, just around like half of the bottom of his head and underneath his beak. Again, he's got a lot more white. Hello, Lynn. You always remember the important details to make a piece more dimensional and finished. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I try. Okay, so I am going to just put in a little bit brighter white highlight right there. And I just have this brush in my hand, so that's what I'm using. I'm kind of lazy like that. Okay. I am going to come back in with my Mezzaluna. Just a little. I just want to soften this right here. So not the highlighted part, but like that section of his beak right there. And just rub your finger to kind of soften that. Okay. We will loosely outline his eye again with white. Dot it. Okay, let's move on to the words. The word. So I cut this out on my laser. One of the best ways to paint these is with a sponge dauber or a dauber. So I do have these on my website. It's just a great applicator because if you use a brush and do the paint, it's going to get all up in those grooves, mess everything up. I do like that darker edge of the letters. So using this, I did seal it with multi-purpose sealer. Okay, so I'm going to come in with the new leaf and load that up, tap it off, kind of load it up and work it into that sponge. And I did like the bottom half. You could certainly ombre it and you know, do it in thirds, but it's such a small word that. Okay, so I did the bottom half with new leaf, and then on that same color, same side, I'm going to pick up some baby duck and work that in. And you can wash these and reuse these. Okay, and then I want a touch of white. And I just want to mix it almost like to a candy apple green color. And then I'm just going to turn it around. Oops, just stuck my finger in it. And do the other half. Okay, and here's a little tip with the other side. You can just lightly go right between the two colors to softly blend those. Okay, now I got my finger on that G. So, and then once that dries, you can add it to your piece, either with E6000. Right now I just have mine on with repositionable glue dots because I wanted to, excuse me, be able to remove it if I needed to. Now, like I said, I didn't add splatter to my original, but I think I'm going to add splatter, and I'm going to do it a different way than I normally do. I'm going to steal my friend Tracy Morrow's splatter using the Fugly brush. This is a 1-inch encaustic. It's a bristle brush, amazing for so many things, but it does great for splatter. So I'm going to get out a little bit more white and get that brush quite wet. Pick up some of that white and really work it in to an inky consistency. Tap it across my paper towel just to get rid of some of that excess. And then we're going to, with your finger, just kind of pull some of those bristles. And I like it on the words, so I'm going to leave it there. Again, it's not on the original, but I do like it. Okay, we'll add it to, this one isn't attached, but since we have that loaded, and just have a brush ready, you know, a damp brush that if you don't like where it's at, you can remove it quickly. All right, so his head's a little bit skinnier on the one I did today. See, a little bit rounder on my original, but still, I mean, they're all different, right? Again, just moving back and forth between your lights and your darks, putting colors in where you need shadows and highlights in where you need to break up and brighten. But anyway, that is my spring duckling. Let's zoom out just a little bit. And I will look through. Thank you, Molly Ann. You're so awesome. Putting all the links in. Do I seal the wood? Yes, great question, Lynn. I do. I seal everything pretty much with multi-purpose sealer. Fantastic product, okay? When I get done with the background, before I do my line drawing sometimes, I'll go ahead and seal it again. That way, if my line drawing goes on wonky or whatever, it's easier to get it off. It just kind of is a barrier, but it really is a great thing to seal, especially MDF wood. You get a little bit of that graininess on wood or MDF, and I typically will do this and do my base coat and sand it. You can also mix this with your base color. So you can mix it together and do it all at one time, okay? But I typically, just out of habit, seal it, then do my base color, and then go on and do my my design. All right, so like I've mentioned before, I'm a one-man band, so I will go back and look at questions and see if there's anything that I missed that maybe you asked. Again, thank you so much for sharing those links and stuff, guys. I appreciate that. And I can't wait to see your chickies. So do your little spring ducklings and share pictures with me. Okay? So, thank you. This is the other thing, guys, that I saw a comment, which I'm very big on, is just because this is on an 8-inch breadboard does not mean that you can't take the pattern in the pattern packet and enlarge it and paint it on something different. I think he would look super cute on a little welcome sign, or even a 8 by 10 or 11 by 14, and make him bigger. So just because this is a little small doesn't mean that you can't improvise and make him bigger and paint him the same exact way. Okay? Alrighty, guys. They both have their own personality, right, Jane? That's the thing, is they do. And yeah. And I'm going to probably tweak this one a little bit more because, like I said, I'm taking it to New Orleans for my sweet friend in Utah for her daughter. So not sure if she's watching, but anyway. All right, guys, I will not be here next Sunday. Again, like, comment, share, and by the next live that I do, which is going to be well, it's not going to be Easter Sunday. I might come on Easter Monday. Because I'm just not going to do it on Easter. But anyway, but I will announce all the winners. I'm going to put all the names in for everybody that liked, comment, shared into the wheel, and have 3 amazing giveaways. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful week. My members, I will see you guys tomorrow night, and then also Thursday night before I leave for New Orleans. Okay? But you guys be sure to watch my Sandy McTeer Designs Facebook page because I will be sharing lots from NAMTA, especially of the painted shoes. Let me see, do I have my painted shoes? Those are my painted shoes that I did with my favorite Dynasty brushes and Deco Art So Soft and Stylin' Paint. So I will share those pictures with you guys, and new products and things that I see. And one of the reasons I'm waiting to do the giveaways too is if there's anything that I see new there that I can get my hands on and bring back and maybe pop into those Happy Mail giveaway prizes, I will. Okay? Especially for my tribe. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, those foam brushes are amazing. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. Get those brushes out. Get that paint out. Try to remind yourself that it does not have to be perfect. Don't overthink. If you've got to give yourself a pep talk and just say, get over yourself, and get those brushes moving. If you're not in the mood, like I always say, base coat something, because that action of doing something small will turn into a little more. And before you know it, you're painting and creating. Okay. So the longer you go without doing it, the easier it is not to do it. So believe me, I know. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with this. Have a wonderful week.